I'm back! Did you enjoy Daniel's predictions last week? If you missed it, check it out. Maybe after this episode. This week on the show. New Greek region announced for Azure services. It's in Greece. You can now get reserved capacity for Azure SQL Hyperscale and load balancer and public IP support for resource group move. You tuned into Azure This Week, the only show with its own Azure region, which is the llama region. There are already 62 regions available or announced in the Azure cloud. This week, region number 63 was announced in Greece. Of course, it needs a catchy name, so this initiative is GR for growth, which is super clever because GR is also the letters for Greece. Anyway, as part of the announcement, Microsoft also committed to upskilling about 100,000 Greek citizens to digital technologies by 2025. The region will host a full suite of Azure services as well as Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365 with Power Platform. Essentially, all of the Microsoft Cloud offerings. The new region should be online sometime in 2021. Reserved capacity in Azure is a way to commit to a 1 or 3 years use of a resource in return for a significant discount compared to pay-as-you-go pricing. This model is now available to Azure SQL Database Hyperscale. Hyperscale is a pricing tier which gives you substantial performance increase for both compute and storage. You can support up to 100 terabytes in size for a single database, almost instant backups, fast restores, higher performance, and more fast stuff. If you need more of all these bits in Azure SQL, this is the tier for you, which can now be much cheaper with reserved capacity. You like that? What about maybe liking this video too? Yeah. Standard load balancers and standard public IP addresses now support being moved across resource groups within the same subscription. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, but most of the time you cannot change resource groups for Azure resources, and it gets super frustrating very quickly. Moving a resource only moves it to a new resource group. It doesn't change the location of the resource or the subscription. Moving standard load balancers and public IP addresses across resource groups is supported in all Azure public cloud regions. Just before I end for this week, I actually left the most important Azure news to last. You ready? The Azure mobile app now supports dark theme. Yeah, I know, amazing. As we say on the A Cloud Guru team, every time the host gets a brilliant idea for the weekly episode thumbnail, seek and you shall cloud. See you next week, and keep subscribing, Cloud Gurus, to this channel. We have ice cream.